Many years ago, camping is just beginning to gain popularity. After accidentally discovering that friends around me were discussing this activity one after another, I also gradually became interested in this. But at that time, I only had a locomotive as a means of transportation. But the locomotive simply can't meet the conditions for me to camp with the wind. And I long to be like everyone else. Drive as you like to find a camping destination. Sometimes you can even find a suitable campsite according to the season. At that time, you will see the flowers and brocades of nature. Enjoy a comfortable time away from the hustle and bustle. So I decided to buy a car. Start my first step. Because I'm a person who doesn't know anything about cars. So start by observing the cars driven by friends around you. And consult their usage status as a basis. Can better understand your needs for cars. After inquiry and comparison, I decided to buy a second-hand station wagon and try it first. On the one hand, as my other means of transportation. On the one hand, it can also make it more convenient for me when planning a camping trip. So after get off work and vacation time, I started to inquire around and visited several used car dealers. Find my ideal car as much as possible. In the end, I was among these car dealers. Find an 850 that left the factory in 1995. This car perfectly meets my needs. And I keep bargaining with the owner of the car dealer. The boss finally agreed to make a deal at the price I last mentioned. The mood at the moment is really excited and indescribable. Originally, I was only interested in camping. But gradually it turned into a desire to own a car. It's not just a means of transportation. It is also a good partner to accompany me on my free adventure. Subsequent holidays. I almost spend my time tidying up the car. Tidy up the inside and out of the car as thoroughly as possible. Then drive it to the store to buy items for camping. From simple tents, sleeping bags, outdoor tables and chairs, to cooking utensils. Slowly buy them all one by one. What caught me off guard was that this car was a few months later. I don't know what the reason is. Several times when passing through the intersection, I will hear the chassis make an abnormal noise of empty, empty, empty. At first I thought there was a problem with the car. So I drove the car to the warranty factory and checked it with the master. To solve the doubts in my heart. But I went to several warranty factories. The answer is that the car is well maintained. There is no problem. So although that strange sound still exists, I'm not too worried. But I noticed after a long time. I go to the hypermarket every week to purchase daily necessities on the way. When passing through the intersection of a certain section of road, that voice will appear very abruptly, empty, 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 empty. Although it will not affect safety. But this kind of voice still makes me feel very upset after listening to it for a long time. But what can't be done? Because everything is normal during the inspection. And in addition to this drawback, this car, other aspects are really 100 points. I really realized something was wrong. It's because once I had arranged to go out on the weekend. The camp is also booked. It turned out that my mom was the night before I went out. Stuffed her dog over and asked me to help take care of it for 2 days. Because she and my dad are going to join the incense group organized by the Lyman Activity Center. Go out and eat incense together, dogs can't follow. So I can only take that dog out with me. The dog's name is Lin Dog. You ask me why it's called Lin Dog. Because my mother's surname is Lin. He is also a dog, so he is called Lin Dog. Lin Dog has a good temper and is lazy. Don't bark or defecate casually. If you can sit, you won't stand, if you can lie down, you will never sit. I won't provoke others. In principle, it's an angel dog. The place where we camped that time was in the mountains. The car can be parked next to the campsite. And the camp is raised with wooden planks. I just need to set up the tent, open the bedding, and lay it out. I also prepared a sleeping mat for Lin Dog. Everything is ready and the time is almost around 4 p.m. I arranged the cooking tools neatly one by one. When you start boiling water and prepare to make a cup of coffee, I found that Lin Dog had been in front of the car and didn't know what he was looking at. I poured a bowl of water and asked him to come and drink it. But he kept staring at the car intently. I barked several times before Lin Dog turned his head and looked at me in confusion. Suddenly the forest dog ran towards me super fast and scared me. It jumped on me. Fortunately, I reacted quickly and held it right away. I asked the Balin dog as I was scared by me. Why are you crazy sitting and eating meat? While putting it on the chair. But the forest dog kept crawling on me with his paws. Obviously don't want to get off me. And he hummed and drilled into me. I really can't accept what Lin Dog wants to express. I had to ignore him and continue to make my coffee. I sat down and drank my coffee while feeding the forest dog meat. Suddenly Lin Dog looked in the direction of the car vigilantly. The speed at which it turns its head is the degree to which it will twist the human neck. Then I heard the car coming before I turned my head with it. Empty, empty, empty. It's really weird that this voice appears at this time. Because the car was parked in place and neither started nor anyone was in the car. But I didn't delve into it either. I just thought it might be a squirrel or something getting under the car. Lin Dog will be very sensitive to vigilance. After all, no matter how lazy a dog is, he will take care of his family by nature. As the sky gradually darkened, the lights in the camp were also turned on. The warm lights make the scenery in front of you softer. This situation is heaven to me. If Lin Dog didn't run to plan the front of the car for me. So I shouted, Lin Dog, come back. Lin Dog's movements stopped for a while, then he started to plan the front of the car hard. I really can't stand it. Leave the dinner I just cooked. Go over and take Lin Dog back and put it on the chair. But he started humming to me again. I ignored him completely later. I took out the fence to enclose the forest dog, and then planed the front of the car for me. After I finished dinner, I turned my head and took a look at Lin Dog. I found that the meat in his bowl hadn't moved. He stared at my car vigilantly. I asked him, Lin Dog, why don't you eat? What are you looking at? Eat quickly. After my urging, Lin Dog licked the meat in his bowl meaningfully. But I still didn't plan to eat it. Seeing him as he is, I don't bother to cock him anymore. After packing up the meal, my computer Skype rang. My mother made a video call to care about whether Lin Dog is used to camping. At that time, my seat was facing the car with my back. So as soon as I left the seat, the camera lens can clearly capture the car. And when I left my seat to pick Lin Dog over, I heard my mom yelling, "What's under your car?" I turned my head to see that there was nothing in my car. I said, "What's the matter?" Just as my mom was about to continue talking, the internet was disconnected. Why can't I even connect to the back? I just turned off the laptop. Then lie on the ground with Lin Dog and look at the stars. The sky today is very clear and the stars are unobstructed. Lin Dog kept rubbing against me. When I turned my head to look at it, suddenly I saw a black mass under the front of my car. But when I looked closely, there was nothing over there. Lie down and lie down. Lin Dog and I gradually became drowsy. After brushing my teeth, I hugged the forest dog back to the tent and prepared to sleep. Because the weather is very good and cool today. So I only pulled up the zipper of the tent yarn layer. The breeze blows in gently, it's really comfortable. Even Lin Dog's eyes squinted. I woke up again because Lin Dog kept licking my face. And the sound of empty 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 came to my ears again. I want to say that I want to open the gauze layer and go out to check it out. So I turned over. Then I clearly saw under the front of my car. Something is hitting my chassis. The sound of empty empty empty. It was caused by the impact of that thing. But that thing doesn't look like an animal. Thinking of this, my back is cold and I dare not move anymore, but that thing keeps hitting my chassis. Empty empty empty. Empty empty empty. Then Lin Dog kept getting into my sleeping bag and didn't move. I watched Lin Dog's behavior, and I was even more scared. Close your eyes and nest in a sleeping bag with Lin Dog. I am very scared. Because I suddenly thought, don't cats and dogs all see that kind of thing? Is it the kind of thing that is hitting my car at this time? The sound stopped. The surroundings are quiet again. After a while, I tremblingly poked my head out of my sleeping bag and looked over there. Oh, my God, I almost peed. I saw a human head very clearly. Her eyes stared at me very wide. Then she found out that I saw her. She actually started hitting my chassis again. She stared at me while bumping. I don't know why she did this. But I am scared. So I quickly zipped up the layer covered by the tent. But the zipper is stuck. That head seems to have noticed my movements. As a result, the frequency of her impact became faster and faster, and the strength became greater and greater. Finally I pulled the zipper on. I breathed a sigh of relief when I hid in the tent. But I found Lin Dog trembling all the time. And it scared the game. I didn't blame him. Because I am also very scared. In this way, I sat in the corner of the tent with Lin Dog in my arms until dawn. Because the camp stipulates that you need to pack up and leave at 10:30. So I had to come out and pack my things. And I thought as I cleaned up. Am I waiting to drive? But I dare not open it. Lin Dog didn't dare to get in the car either. So I discussed with the owner of the camp. Put the car on their side first. I will find someone to take the car. Lin Dog and I will call a taxi directly to go home first. After I got home, my mother suggested that I donate this car to a Buddhist temple. I did it. I still don't know so far. Is it that this car itself has a spirit attached to it, or do I often pass by that crossroads and attracted?